Hi, I'm Chas, and you're watching Chas's Crazy Creations.
Today I'm going to be using Total Boat's Makerpoxy by Jessica Crow. So mixing these is a ratio of 1:1 for the resin part A and resin part B. So I'm going to be putting both parts equal into this cup below. Next, I need to stir the equal parts together very slowly for 3 minutes so that I don't have any bubbles, or try to at least have the least amount of bubbles as possible. Now you'll want to make sure you catch the edges and the bottom so that it's nice and stirred up in that 3 minutes. But remember, stirring slowly is the key. Now that the 3 minutes are up, it's all stirred and I'm ready to move on. Now I'm going to be using Total Boat's jewelry making kit, which I'm super excited about, because think about all the gifts you can make for people, and a little bit of epoxy goes a long way. So this is a lot of gifts, and it comes with so many great things, like all these little pieces with the holes already done. They also have a bracelet piece in there and more. So we're going to be trying some basic jewelry making today. So for the first couple, I'm just going to go ahead and pour some resin. And I want enough to just coat the bottom of this particular one. So I'm going to spread that resin in there. Make sure it coats every corner. And I love that this resin is self-leveling. So that part is super great. So I'm just gonna get each corner, and I didn't want to fill it all the way up yet because I'm gonna be adding something to it. So all I'm doing is just getting this base layer in here, and I'm going around the hole for where, you know, the jewelry will be hanging from. So that looks like I've got pretty much the whole bottom covered. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add something in here quickly. So many of you know that I'm a breast cancer survivor, and what I'm gonna do is just add this little breast cancer sticker in here. Now it doesn't matter if I didn't get it in there right away perfect, because what I can do is just take my little popsicle stick and move it around. So what I wanna do is get it in the right place, kind of where I want it to be, and then I'm gonna set it in there. So now the next step is to add more resin on top of it so that it coats it. Now I wouldn't have to make this a necklace. The other thing I could make it is maybe a keychain or a zipper pull. So, you know, when you talk about a gift idea for your friends and family members, maybe there are certain people in your life that aren't big jewelry people. So this would be another thing that you could do, would be to make a keychain or a zipper pull for luggage or briefcases and things like that. So I've got it in there now, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get my Wagner heat gun so I can pop some of these bubbles. So I'm just gonna go and blow a little bit of the heat gun onto the jewelry to kind of pop those bubbles that are in there. Now if my jewelry moves a little bit, or that little piece of that sticker that's in there, if it moves, it's okay. I can easily go back in and move it still. I just want to get some of the bubbles out of there right now while it is still, before it dries. So along the same lines, my daughter and I are big Charlie Brown fans. So I'm gonna put this in one of them, and I'm gonna use these little leaves to put in another one. I have preserved these leaves by using Mod Podge to seal them. That seals in the color, and then as you won't have any bubbles that pop out from these as they are in the epoxy if they're sealed. So that was just an easy way to start with jewelry, but let's make some other jewelry that will be fun by adding some color. So I've reserved some clear epoxy because you'll need that. And I've put some clear epoxy in 3 different cups. And now I'm going to use their Black Diamond powder, Total Boats Black Diamond powder, to add some color to each of these. You won't need very much, so you can basically just take a little stick of the pigment and add it in, and then you'll stir it up, each color. So that one I'm using their Black Diamond pigment powder, and then I'll be using their copper and their cobalt blue. Okay, I have to correct myself. I read the wrong label for this one. This one's actually called Battleship Gray. But now all I do is, again, stirring slowly, but I want to stir each of these pigment colors in to the resin and the epoxy. So I'm going to nice and slow stir for each of these till they're good and mixed. And then we'll move on to the next step of the jewelry making. Okay, so like before, let me move these sticks out of the way. We're gonna take the clear first, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in just a little bit. Sometimes I over pour it and I don't mean to, but you can always get it back out if you put too much in. So we're gonna get the clear down first and make sure that it coats the whole area. And then once I get it all the way coated, we're going to add the colors one at a time. Now you get to have fun with it. So you can either use your finger to swirl it a little bit. You can use a popsicle stick. Again, I always like to use gloves when working with epoxy, but we can also use the heat gun to move it around as well. So you get to have fun creating this design. And the pigment tends to float around with the clear. So I'm done with this one, and I'm just gonna go ahead and play with this a little more since I've got more, and create just a few more of these. So I had a lot of fun making these, and as you can see, just that little bit of epoxy pretty much filled almost all the trays, and I still have clear left. So I may make a few more, but now we wait for these to harden, and then we pop them out. So I poured my excess resin into the bracelet holder, and I'm going to be trying a little experiment. And this time I'm going to be using the alcohol inks. While the others are drying, I wanted to show you one more that I did an experiment on. And this was a piece of jewelry that was hollow in the middle, had a back on it, and you just fill it with the resin. So I mixed it with black and a couple different glitters and mixed it in with the epoxy and then poured it into this mold. And this is how it turned out. So now all the resin is dry, so I simply pop these out. Look how easy that was. And in addition to that, when I had done the one for fun, the center had some resin, and now I have this cool sun catcher that ended up showing up. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll continue popping all of these out, and then I'll let you see what all of them look like. So I've got them all pulled out, and here was a look at those first 3 that we just put something in the resin. And then a little closer look at the other ones that we made, just having fun. And I really love how they all turned out. And again, these are great for jewelry pieces, necklaces, earrings, bracelet charms, but you can also use them for zipper pulls and can work for men, women, just about anyone that you need a gift for. And if you're wondering how my experiment turned out with the bracelet, I couldn't be more thrilled. Look at all the fun colors. Now I did have a little extra resin here, but as you can see, it's gonna peel right off. So no problem cleaning it right up. And the molds, just great. Everything peels right off of them so you can reuse them. I hope this inspires you to try out Total Boat's jewelry making resin kit. It's absolutely amazing. I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chascrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.